The women's basketball college carousel is in full swing and no one is safe. In this video, we're breaking down the shocking coaching firings, forced resignations, and mass player exits that have rocked women's college basketball in the past month. Some names on this list were expected, others downright jaw-dropping. Welcome to Davis Sports Report. I want to give a huge shout out to our subscribers. You guys are the reason we do this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that button and run up those likes so we keep bringing you the hard-hitting sports coverage. With conference tournaments in the rear view and March Madness about to take over, coaches are being shown the door left and right. Some for underperformance, some for internal drama, and some, well, let's just say the real story is messier than what's being reported. Let's dive in. We start in Fayetteville, where Mike Neighbors is officially gone. The big question is, did he leave on his own terms, or was he shoved out the door? That depends on what articles you read, but let's be real. When a coach finishes dead last in the SEC with a 10-22 record, it's not exactly a graceful exit.
Mentioned it was Neighbors who made the decision to step down, a choice that comes after a 10-22 season and a first-round exit in the SEC tournament. Neighbors, a Greenwood native, was hired ahead of the 2017 season, and in his 8 years on the Hill, he led the team to a 148-114 record, 2 NCAA tournament appearances, and 2 trips to the WNIT. But perhaps his biggest impact came off the court, as he was regarded as one of the most well-liked and respected coaches at the university, clearly having a massive impact on just about every single player that he coached. Now, when decisions like this happen from well-liked figures such as Neighbors, a lot of times people are left searching for reasons. However, as of now, he has not provided one, though he did say in a statement, quote, "The opportunity to coach the Hogs fulfilled a lifelong dream. I also acknowledged that there would be a time when that dream would end, and until then, I pledge to do my best to make my family, my team, and my home state of Arkansas proud." Razorback Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek added on saying that he is deeply appreciative of Neighbors' work and that the team says, quote, "There is no questioning his love and passion for this university as well as this state." Also,
yes, the university made the announcement earlier this afternoon saying in part, Coach Neighbors has resigned after 8 seasons of leading the women's basketball program. This change comes after the team posted its worst record in his tenure, finishing with just 10 wins.
This disaster of a season included losing to teams Arkansas had no business losing to, like Fairfield, Bowling Green, and Liberty, despite having one of the nation's top shooters, Izzy Higginbottom.
This year at Arkansas has been probably my best year of college all around yet, and so I'm truly thankful for it.
That alone would be enough for hot seat talks, but let's not forget the mass exodus of talent after the 2024 season. 2021 McDonald's All-American Miriam Dowda left to go to South Carolina. SEC All-Freshman team Sailor Poffenberger left to go to Maryland. 2021 McDonald's All-American Jersey Woffenberger left to go to LSU. 2022 SEC Freshman of the Year Samara Spencer left to go to Tennessee, and 2023 McDonald's All-American Talia Scott left to go to Auburn. Starting with a mostly new roster, this wasn't just a bad year, this was the worst season in program history since 1981. That's 4 decades of Razorbacks basketball, and this was rock bottom. And let's not forget the financial mess. Hunter Yurachek gave Neighbors a contract extension through 2028, meaning Arkansas now has to eat a 7-figure buyout to get rid of him. Terrible coaching or terrible decision-making from the athletic department? You decide. No replacement has been named, but sources confirm Yurachek has already reached out to Grand Canyon's Molly Miller, who's also rumored to be in the mix for the Arizona State and Missouri jobs. Auburn pulled the plug on Johnny Harris after 4 years, despite her still being under contract. She was fired on March 6th, just 1 day after losing to Florida in the first round of the SEC tournament, but the timing is interesting. Yes, Auburn finished in a 4-way tie for last place in the SEC with Missouri, Texas A&M, and Arkansas, but let's put this in perspective. Harris actually led Auburn to its best season since 2019 and a .500 record in SEC play for the first time in 5 years. That doesn't sound like a coach who should be fired, right? Here's where it gets spicy. Auburn's AD John Cohen was previously at Mississippi State, where he passed over Harris to hire Sam Purcell. Now he's at Auburn, and Harris is out the door. Coincidence, or did he just never want her in the first place? And the fallout has already started. Sophomore phenoms Talia Scott and Caitlin Duhan entered the transfer portal just 4 days after Harris's firing. Will more players follow? Auburn has 2 top 100 recruits committed for next season. 28th ranked Nyla Wilson from IMG Academy that has several offers but chose Johnny in her program at Auburn, as well as 59 ranked Brandy Herod, who, surprise, surprise, decommitted today, stating that she has reopened recruitment due to the recent changes in Auburn women's basketball program. Will Nyla stay committed, or will she do the same? And will Cohen's next move blow this program up even more? Robin Pinkton's 15-year reign at Missouri is over, but let's call it what it is. It was time for her to go. Missouri suffered a 20-point beatdown in the first round of the SEC tournaments against Mississippi State, capping off their worst season in 5 years. No NCAA tournament appearances since 2019. That just doesn't cut it anymore. So far, no players have entered the transfer portal, but let's see if that changes once a new coach is named. As stated before, Grand Canyon's Molly Miller is in the mix. Moving on to the Big 12 Conference. This one is shocking. Arizona State fired Natasha Adair on March 8th before the conference tournament finals. She'd only been there since 2022. The Sun Devils finished 10-22, making it their worst season since 1993. Even with superstar guard Jaylen Brown, they only managed to finish ahead of Houston in the Big 12 standings. Adair had assembled a strong transfer class, bringing in players like Kennedy Basham, Thais Skinner, Nivea Parkinson, and Kennedy Fauntleroy, who suffered a season-ending injury. But here's the problem. Right after she got fired, ASU's 2 top scorers, Jaylen Brown and Thais Skinner, jumped into the transfer portal. Adair's firing might cost Arizona State even more talent than they anticipated. The AD stated, "We appreciate Coach Natasha Adair's leadership and professionalism in guiding the Sun Devil women basketball over the past 3 years," Arizona State Athletic Director Graham Rossini said in a statement. "She and her staff built meaningful connections throughout the Valley, and we respect how she represented ASU during her time in Tempe. A national search for the next leader of our program will begin immediately."
Just a teaching point for us. We were down a player, key player for sure, but you got to value every possession.
My question is, with only 3 years, was that truly enough time for her to turn around the program? The replacement, still unknown, but whoever it will be will inherit a disaster. Houston's Ronald Hughley resigned on March 6th, but let's be real. Was this a resignation, or did he jump before he got pushed? Hughley had been with the Cougars for 11 years, but this season was a nightmare, 5-25, the worst record in program history since 2012. Houston is new to the Big 12, and while the men's basketball team is thriving, the women's program is falling apart. A total rebuild is coming, but who's going to want this job? BYU and Amber Whiting have decided to part ways. But let's be honest, was this really a mutual decision? Whiting took over as head coach in 2022, marking her first coaching job outside of high school. With only 3 seasons at the helm, she led the Cougars to a 13-17 record this year. A rough season, sure, but one that included losses to multiple AP Top 25 teams. Considering the level of competition, was her performance really grounds for dismissal, or was she never truly given a fair shot? The fallout has been immediate. BYU sharpshooter Kaylee Woolston, who suffered a knee injury, sidelined her for most of the season, is reportedly entering the transfer portal, according to a report on On3. She follows starting point guard Amari Whitting, who just happens to be Amber's daughter, out the door. And now, Kaylee's younger sister, Kennedy Woolston, has pulled her commitment to BYU for next season. If Whiting's firing was about improving the program, it sure looks like the opposite is happening. BYU named associate head coach Lee Cummard as interim head coach. But here's the real question. Is 3 years really enough time to turn around a program? And if not, why would Whiting cut loose so quickly? Are other coaches, especially male coaches, afforded more time and opportunity to be successful? Or was this a case of setting up a coach to fail and then using it as an excuse to clean house? What do you think? Was this the right move, or is BYU making a huge mistake? Moving on to the Big Ten Conference. Wisconsin parted ways with head coach Marissa Moseley after 4 years. And while they're calling it a resignation, let's be clear, she was getting fired either way. Her 47-75 record speaks for itself, but things really fell apart off the court. In January 2025, former player Tessa Towers accused Moseley of creating a toxic environment, emotional abuse, threats, and improper mental health demands. Wisconsin launched an investigation, but conveniently never shared the results. It is noted that Moseley did deny these allegations. A fallout that Wisconsin might not have anticipated is that top players are fleeing the program after Moseley's firing. Entering the transfer portal are Sarah Williams, Carter McCrary, and freshman Gracie Gasurik, who all entered the transfer portal just days after Moseley was forced out. Wisconsin will need a complete reset, and whoever takes over is stepping into a mess. We've already seen major names ousted, coaching contracts tossed out like garbage, and players jumping ship left and right. But we're not done yet. More firings are coming. More programs are about to be turned upside down. So buckle up, because this coaching carousel isn't slowing down anytime soon. Let us know what you think. Who deserved to be fired? Who got screwed over? And which of these programs is about to collapse? Drop a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more unfiltered sports talk. We will see you on the next one. Goodbye.